Hello, my name is Sven, and today we'll be learning about the TAS 6 3D printer that you might not own, but it's still beneficial if you don't own it because you want to learn how to use it first. This video is part of a dynamic series where you can take it as far as you want, as in-depth as you want, and you can decide what level of experience you're looking for, whether I just want to learn how to use it, or if you want to learn how to troubleshoot things, or if you want to learn more in depth how they work and things like that. In this video, we will be learning about how it works in the basics, so X, Y, and Z relocation and extruder technology, as well as also menu navigation and tools. So most 3D printers in the world will use some kind of extruder system. This extruder system on this 3D printer involves two gears and motors inside of the extruder head, which is this piece of the 3D printer. And they all basically essentially work just like a hot glue gun. When you're using a hot glue gun, you have your filament, aka the hot glue, come out the back, and you extrude it by pulling the trigger here. Once the nozzle is hot, it liquefies the hot glue and it extrudes out. 3D printer does basically the same thing, but it has a lot more of that hot glue gun stuff. So it takes filament, which is another way of saying plastic, in this roll over here, which I don't know if you can see very well, but we'll get a close up on that in a later video. It takes filament and it pulls it in to the nozzle here and extrudes it out the bottom once it gets hot. And then it builds multiple layers of that, and that's how you get your object. In order to move the nozzle around on the build plate, because basically it's like drawing multiple layers, it needs to have X, Y, and Z relocation. So, if I remember correctly, Y is handled by the build plate. Build plate moves back and forth on a belt and driver system down below. The X is handled by moving the gantry left and right along this bar. That's handled by a motor here and a belt here. And then Z is handled by two motors on the bottom, and they rotate these two screws, and the screws then lift the whole bar up and down. So when you're making a new layer, it lifts it a tiny bit up, and it extrudes another layer, and then a tiny bit up, and extrudes another layer, and it keeps going. That speed can change depending on what kind of filament you're using and what kind of model you're trying to create. So after that, we can talk about our menu now. Now, to access the operation menu, take a look at your interface. All you have to communicate with the printer is this dial here. So you use the rotation of the dial to indicate up or down. And to select an option or a submenu, you press in on the dial. And we'll need that. And then we'll also need at least one pair of snips. You may need some more tools such as needle nose pliers or different varieties of snips for trimming the end of your filament when you're inserting it or changing the filament. These are really useful, and we have a variety of them at our 3D printing room. That concludes this video on this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. The next video in the series will be about changing the filament pipes on your 3D printing head, and also the next one after that will be how to set up your first print.